Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. We have made it to Friday, to the afternoon of Friday. We are deep into it now, almost to the end of the day. It's Friday, October 30th. I've got your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thanks for choosing to be here to get filled in on what's impacting you here in Northeast Ohio. We start out with an important story to have a grasp on while so many people are concerned, hearing things that are concerning about the mail with the election coming up, with so many absentee ballots in the mail. There has been a postal worker who has been charged with intentional delay of the mail here in Northeast Ohio. His name is DeAndrian Rice. He's 27 years old of Maple Heights. He's been charged with delay or destruction of more than 350 pieces of mail. And from what the officials are saying, it appears to be delay, not destruction. Now, Rice worked in Bedford and Cleveland and is currently in custody. Here's what's important to know. I want you to take this away from this story. No ballots were involved in this particular incident, okay? We're not talking about any absentee ballots whatsoever, according to what these officials have said. The Postal Service Office of Inspector General Special Agent in Charge Kenneth Cleavey and U.S. Attorney Justin Herdman had a press conference today, and they said this is what happened. After reports of missing mail were filed, police searched Rice's vehicle. Here's what they found. 1 absentee ballot application. So this is an application going to someone that they would have had to then fill out and return in order to get an absentee ballot. So presumably that person did not receive that. Hopefully they were able to get another application if that was the way that they planned on voting. So 1 absentee ballot application. 88 pieces of mail from the City of Cleveland Water Department, 32 Dolly Parton Book Club books, 20 partisan political advertisements. We're talking about ads here. 15 pieces of voter participation center mail. So this is information for people, nothing relating to an actual ballot. And 14 general election mailers from the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections. Now, this is still under investigation at this time, but again, Rice is in custody and has been charged with delay of the mail. This is a good time to remind everyone that 4 days out from the end of the election coming up for the 2020 November 3rd election, experts are now saying even though you can mail your ballot in Ohio up until November 2nd, that the best thing to do right now is to drop that off. If you still are planning on sending in an absentee ballot, just drop that off at your county board of education if you can. And if you are planning on voting in person, here's a good reminder that the RTA will be free in Cleveland and also in Akron on Election Day. Now, let's talk about the latest COVID-19 numbers coming in from the Ohio Department of Health. Unfortunately, we have another record for new daily reported cases, and that number is almost 4,000 today as hospitalizations are on the rise. In the last 24 hours, there have been 3,845 new daily reported cases of COVID-19. Yesterday was a record with 3,590. Yesterday was the first day that new daily reported number was above 3,000. This was after about 9 days of that number being in the 2,000s. So now not only are we in the 3,000s, we are very close to 4,000 with that number. And our 7-day average positivity rating is at 6.2%. The latest daily positivity rate is at 7%. So this is the rate of all the tests coming back positive. So as you can see, if you've been paying attention to the numbers we've been talking about this week, those have been on an increase. And we are above that World Health Organization recommended threshold of 5%. In the last 24 hours, there have been 16 new reported deaths. That's slightly down from yesterday when there were 19 new reported deaths. And in the last 24 hours, there have been 169 new hospitalizations related to COVID-19. That number of active hospitalizations also on the rise. That number is at 1,629 people currently in the hospital being treated with COVID-19. That's up almost 100 from yesterday. Of all of those people being treated right now, 427 of them are being treated in the intensive care unit. That's up 11 from yesterday, with 25 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. And when we take a look at how many hospital beds are available in the state, about 28% of the hospital beds are available right now for people who need inpatient treatment. 72% of the state's hospital beds are currently being used by someone for something. Now, let's take a look at the U.S. and the global numbers for COVID-19. These numbers come from Johns Hopkins University, and the U.S. is on the verge of 9 million reported cases and almost 230,000 deaths. Daily COVID-19 cases in the U.S. also reached a record on Thursday. There were over 88,000, closer to 89,000 new cases of COVID-19 reported in the U.S. on Thursday, according to Johns Hopkins University. That's almost 10,000 more cases than were reported on Wednesday. And when we look at the numbers, we look at them in the afternoon, right around 3 p.m. Since yesterday so far, there have been 85,402 new reported cases of COVID-19 in the U.S., bringing that number to almost 9 million. It's at 8,982,804. Now, experts are warning that death rates could triple by mid-January. We saw almost 1,000 new reported deaths in the last 24 hours at the national level. That number is now at 229,096 in the U.S. And we are holding steady with a large percentage of the global COVID-19 cases and deaths. We've got about 4% of the global population here in the U.S., but we have 20% of the cases and 19.3% of the deaths right now. That number ticking down just a bit by 1/10 of a percentage point over the past couple of days. Globally, in less than 2 weeks, there have been over 5 million new reported cases of COVID-19. That number is now at 45,304,036. And there have been over 28,000 deaths globally in the past 5 days, just dating back to Monday. That number now is at 1,184,565. Now, with it being Friday, we are staring down Halloween. That's tomorrow, October 31st. Lots of people wondering what to do when it comes to trick-or-treating and celebrating Halloween. Here in Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine has said that we should not be having Halloween parties. We should not be having Halloween events. Here, the city of Cleveland has put together recommendations and a plan. The city of Cleveland is actually urging residents not to participate in trick-or-treating this year, but they are not banning it. It can happen from 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday if people do choose to participate, which the city is not recommending. But if people do participate, the city is recommending that people wear masks, and not just the masks that come with the costume, but an actual cloth mask. They're also saying don't wear a cloth mask with a costume mask over that mask in case there's any difficulty with breathing. What they are recommending is just a Halloween-themed cloth mask, so the mask that you would be wearing in your regular day-to-day dealings, but maybe Halloween themed. Also, come equipped with the hand sanitizer and use it liberally, and they're recommending that people visit less houses, have as little contact with people passing out candy as possible, and for small children, the city of Cleveland is recommending maybe hold that bag for your child to limit that contact, and when you get the candy home, if you're doing it that way, to go ahead and wipe that off with cleansing wipes. Now, if you do decide that you don't want to participate in trick-or-treating, the city is offering grab-and-go candy bags. So these candy bags will be available tonight, Friday, from 6 to 7 p.m. at the 18 open City of Cleveland neighborhood resource and recreation centers. We've got information about that on WKYC.com. We turn now to exciting news for Kent State University. For the very first time ever, Kent State University is on Campus Pride's Best of the Best LGBTQ-friendly list of schools. This is a list of the top 40 schools. Campus Pride reviews 400 schools each year. They list these schools by region in no particular order, and Kent State has a perfect score of 5 on the 2020 Campus Pride Index. Kent Ditlevson, who is the director of Kent State's LGBTQ+ Center, said that the fact that Kent is in the top 40 is a major accomplishment, something that he is really proud of. Ken said that the things that pushed the school over the edge are a trans-inclusive healthcare policy for faculty and staff, a preferred name policy, and also integrating universal restrooms. Now, the Best of the Best Top 40 list also includes Ohio State University and Kenyon College here in Ohio. Now, if you're paying attention to the internet this afternoon, you may already know that Full House star Lori Loughlin has reported to serve her 2-month sentence related to the college admissions bribery scandal. So she's been sentenced to 2 months. Now, if you take a look at her case, there's a lot of similarities between that and the Real Housewives star Teresa Giudice. Teresa Giudice actually pleaded to the same charges that Lori Loughlin pleaded to. She was sentenced to 15 months, ended up only serving 11 months. Other similarities there being that both of their husbands, both Teresa and Lori's husbands, were determined by the judges involved in the case to be really the masterminds behind the issues that they were involved with. Giudice's issues also being financial issues, but not tied to college admissions, of course, but still looking at the same charges there. So based on that and other factors involved, especially the fact that we're dealing with COVID-19 and what that looks like, and we just don't know what that's going to look like over the next couple months, my prediction, my legal opinion is that Lori Loughlin serves maybe 6, maybe 7 weeks of that sentence, but not that full 2-month sentence. She did report to custody today, so we'll be following that and we'll let you know what happens there. Now, if you are in the Halloween spirit and you want to see some costumes, we did ask you all to send us your Halloween costumes here at 3 News. You can check those out on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Continue to send them to us. You can text them to us at 216-344-3300. You can also send them to us through the Near Me feature on the WKYC app, and you can also post them on social media using hashtag 3Halloween. That's it for your afternoon update for Friday, October 30th here for 3 News Now. I'll see you next up on What's New at 5 p.m. with your Trending Stories segment in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Everyone have a great weekend, a happy Halloween, and I'll see you in November. Stay safe and be well. I'm Stephanie Haney.